This is a midweek episode of Chateau Capers because we couldn't stuff it all into one video on Sunday. This time there is bicycles, bands and boats, and
there's been an almighty crash.
Is our Chateau dream crashing to the ground?
It's been raining overnight, rather unexpectedly actually. And so I want to let the swimming pool area dry out before we try and lift the heavy wall pieces into position. Which just means I get to work in this room, which is what I've been doing this morning. So I've just now got a fourth joist on this side into position, but it's still slightly high here, so I've got to drop it down by a couple of millimeters. I haven't worked at the edges because they may need lifting or lowering depending. Because the room's not perfectly flat, I've got to work to what the room wants to do. So it's slightly higher at that side, comes down to the middle, and then I've got to work from the doorway, which is over there, as my final height, and I've got to work out through the room on this half of the room from that point. And if it undulates ever so slightly, that doesn't really matter as long as it feels flat when you're walking on it, otherwise it'll be fine. And let me show you the type of clips I'm using. They're left and right-handed, so you get one for either side of the joist, and you can see here how they work out quite well. Because the central, trying to kneel down on joists isn't easy. Because this central beam is just an old tree, it's not even properly machined. Look, you can just see it's all tree-shaped. There's not a vertical edge here, so I can't see you've got these joist hangers. So I've got a couple of these because over here under the hearth, where the joists attach to that cross beam, I will be able to use joist hangers there because that's a nice vertical bit of wood. Oops, I dropped the camera. But you just can't use them here. So these brackets are ideal because they sit onto the bearer anyway, so that's fine. And then these just give them some more mechanical strength. They keep them from wobbling side to side, and they give them more strength holding it in place. So they're working out really quite well. The only problem is they're quite expensive, relatively speaking. When you buy as many as we're going to need, it gets quite pricey.
After laying out a few more joists, the weather cleared up and we were eager to get the pool walls finished. Working together, we got into a rhythm and the sections of pool wall were fitting into position nicely. We were well over halfway through when we heard an almighty crash from the Chateau. Whilst the sound wasn't recorded because we were filming time-lapse, Jane's reaction to the sound was: we ran.
There's been an almighty crash coming from the Chateau, and I don't know what's happened. I don't know whether the roof's fallen down or something. I can't see anything on this side. There's nothing. I can't see anything. As is so often the case here at Chateau de Pican, we have trees that collapse, and we were just fitting the panels to the pool when we heard this almighty crash, and we instantly panicked thinking the Chateau was falling down. And so we've just raced round the back of the other side of the Chateau to find this. I mean, it's a dead tree. It's been dead a long time, and we knew it had to come down. We're just glad that it's come down when there was nobody under it, because we walk under it every day with the dogs. But if we needed some well-seasoned firewood, there it is. Panic over.
Well, that's about as good a result as it could be. In my mind, I was thinking all the slates have slid off one side of the chateau.
Yeah.
Then I thought maybe the roof of the conservatory has collapsed.
Yeah.
To find a tree down that we wanted to be down.
Oh, look, we've an escapee.
Did you escape? Did you escape? Oh dear. Wow.
It had been a heart-in-your-mouth moment. It genuinely sounded like the building had collapsed. Were the dogs okay? Were the cats okay? With panic subsiding, we fitted together the last few sections of the pool walls.
Look what we've done! I managed to get out, but I'm not sure I'm going to ever be able to get back in until I can use the steps, the proper steps. That was quite hard for me to bridge that gap to get out off the ladder. But yeah, look, we pulled the walls in.
Welcome to Jane's Find of the Day with Jane.
Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Find of the Day at Chateau de Pican. Today I'm talking about this figure. Now, I don't claim to know anything about Chinese antiquities, but I think we've all heard of the Ming Dynasty, and when I looked this fellow up, believe it or not, the best match was to something that was described from the Ming Dynasty. And that dynasty ran from 1368 to 1644, so we're talking about something really quite old. This is apparently a tomb attendant, so he would have been buried with the remains of relatively important people. I understand that he's thought of as a benign and a watcher over, someone who safeguards the passage to the afterlife of the deceased. So yeah, a benign, benevolent figure. He's made of terracotta, and the thing that made me reasonably confident that he is the same, obviously many figures might have green robes on and things. He's made of terracotta, yes, but he's also on this hexagonal plinth. Lots of figures on plinths, but this particular hexagonal plinth with the green glaze, and his head comes off. So he's made of terracotta. He has a finely crafted face with quite a lot of detail, quite striking ears. But I could believe that he was quite old. Now, we haven't damaged him, but he is damaged. His hands come off, and you can see, if you were in any doubt, that he is made of terracotta. And then when I was looking at him more closely, I thought, okay, so he's glazed, right, I can see that. And I think it's called Sakai glaze, if I've remembered that correctly. And it does apparently stand the test of time quite well. But it's almost like he's got clay on top of his glaze, which I thought was a bit odd. Until I thought, well, maybe that's because he's been buried. So he's been buried in clay soil. Could it be for that reason? Anyway, he seems to have clay soil or clay stuck to the surface that's been previously glazed. So he's quite an interesting chap.
The next morning was warm and sunny. The next couple of days were expected to be scorchers. We needed to get as much work done as we could before it got too hot. But first, we had to make a purchase. Someone was selling a second-hand kayak at a price I couldn't resist. So I didn't resist. We'll show you our first outing on the river in a moment.
This really is swimming pool weather today. That's 2 screws.
steps are in.
Now that all the wall panels and steps were in, I began fitting the metal edging strips. The pool liner will attach into them, so it's important I fit them correctly.
Getting these lined up because the plastic wants to naturally be a bit wavy, especially where it joins. Next piece wants to wave around a little bit, but this should hopefully, to a degree, pull it all back into true.
Starting to look well made now, not just thrown together.
Not just random bits of things. Oh boy, I wish we had a swimming pool. Nearly there. Oh God, it kills your arms. I'm working high up. What's the line like? Tiny bit.
You'll have no bingo wings when you finish this.
Yeah, I might have one.
That's true.
We've made some amazing progress this week, and it's only Wednesday. Is it Wednesday? Yeah, I think yes, Wednesday. And we have the steps in. Oh, steps to climb out. But I can't use them yet because they're not filled with concrete. But the pool walls are all in. And the aluminium edging is all the way around, which is where the liner clicks into or however it connects. And the skimmers are pushed into place. And all the light, well, there's one light, and 3 pumps. They're not pumps, are they? They're jets. 3 jets. They're all, well, you know, it's getting there. It now looks like a swimming pool with a bit of a problem. So, I'm super excited. I'm really happy with how it goes. However, I've made one big mistake. And in the grand scheme of things, it's actually a really small mistake. Behind me, the steps. Each corner of the pool has to have an angled piece that goes on that sort of takes it round at 45 degrees on each of the sides of the 90 to make it easy to put the liner in. So the liner sweeps round and the liner has a nicer time of it. It's not so awkward to get into the corner. And I should have put them in before the steps. So it's likely I'm going to have to take all of the steps back off again to put this corner in. But that's the way it is. There's nothing I can do about that. So there we go. But that's my big mistake. But otherwise, it's going really well. We're working really hard to make sure we do this properly and not make any obvious cock-ups. And so far, so good. The moment that perhaps none of you have been waiting for.
The price asked for a pair of these figures that look very similar, and they were in much better condition. Well, at least they didn't have clay stuck to them and they hadn't lost a hand. Oh, thank you, Arwen. Thank you very much. This priceless Ming antiquity was $1,295 for a pair. So he is damaged. There's only one of him. If Arwen has her way, he'll be damaged a bit more quite soon. He's got clay stuck to him on the outside. Does that mean he just hasn't been cleaned? Probably. Anyway, he is potentially worth a few $100s if we don't break him any further. Or maybe the loss of the hand is like, oh no, that means he's worthless now. Oh, thank you so much, Arwen. Thank you. But anyway, he's worth something and he's very interesting.
The next day we were off to the races. Well, the Tour de France to be precise. The streets of Mirande were lined with spectators excitedly awaiting, as it turned out, a several-mile-long procession of advertising vehicles throwing free gifts. Everyone was cheering and waving. There were caps and T-shirts being thrown, sweets, testers, tasters. We managed to get a coffee pod for a machine we don't own. It was a lot of fun seeing the weird floats and strange wacky races style cars whiz past. there would be over an hour's gap between the parade and the tour arriving, so we went for a quiet lunch.
It's nice being serenaded whilst you eat, isn't it?
Nothing says relaxing afternoon lunch quite like a brass band and a singer on a megaphone.
The tension is building. Lots of things are going past. I can hear another helicopter, so there must be about to come. Oh, police with blue lights.
And then the lead pack arrived, and were gone in a flash. Moments later, the peloton passed by. Quite how they can tolerate the 36-degree heat while cycling so hard is beyond me. This stage would end several hours later at a ski resort at the top of the mountains. Just incredible athleticism.
Really good fun. It's been a lot more of a festival atmosphere than I was expecting. I mean, I thought it would be around the bikes, but all the stuff that went before I had no idea about. But yeah, it's really exciting to see them whiz through. It's great. This is all our land, and we haven't got that much, but that's our drive. This is our boundary, and basically you walk along our boundary to the corner and then you walk to the river just from there, and it's, well, Rory's nearly halfway to the river now, so it's really not far at all. Oh, so he's just gone up the bank. These are the flood defences for the river. Oh, he's abandoned it. No, I think he's gone to look, see if it's a good point of entry to our little river, La Petite Base. Oh, taking it at a run. Oh, well, so far so good.
She's a-floating.
She's floating. So far so good. He's in.
Jane trying to get in to the kayak. She's a pro. She's clearly done this before.
You make me laugh. Oh, God.
Yeah. You can't put diagonal weight on it. You understand physics.
Okay. So how do you do it?
You have to commit. And put your weight centrally. Because if you put weight on it diagonally, you'll push up the boat away.
I know. Okay. Well, if you maybe stop filming. Sorry. So just so that.
We'll come back to you when Jane's in the boat.
Because when I tried climbing in, we lost a couple of bungs when we were bringing the canoe home, and the back of the canoe started to fill with water. So I've now got Rory's bungs, and I'm just sitting in a puddle.
Yeah. So the two bungs from the front of the kayak are removed, but the front of the kayak's sort of raised up because all the weight's towards the rear.
I don't know what Rory's trying to say about my rear. You've got Jeremy Cricket on your shorts, Rory, on your right-hand short.
Oh yes. It's Jiminy anyway.
Jiminy, sorry, what did I say?
Jeremy,
sorry.
time to go canoeing.
So we're just pulling away from the bank. We've never been on this river before. It's not the clearest of water, but it doesn't smell bad.
I think I'm holding this upside down. When we bought this, I genuinely thought, oh, is it going to be too long for the river? What if we can't turn around?
The river's actually rather lovely, isn't it?
It is. This is so peaceful. So peaceful. We've been up the river in one direction until it got shallow and a bit rapid, so we'd have had to climb out and drag the kayak over the fast shallow water. And we don't have beach shoes, so we're not going to do that. So we're going to go back and go the other direction and see how far we can get before we have to stop and turn around. But this is absolutely amazing. Right on our doorstep. Perfect.
And that was our first river adventure, the first of many, I think. If you've watched this far, then please hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you next time.
There we go.